Yep, we are live on the Instagrammage, so that's cool.
That is always cool.
Yes. All right. So, Stu, it's been a whole week since. Oh, I got to get my coffee. This is so rude. It's like, hey, Stu, I'm coming, but I got to get my coffee, and coffee's more important than the intro of the show. So, take it away, Stu.
Hey, everybody. Stu Smith here and Jim
Jim
Edwards.
Edwards off screen.
We are starting the Copy and Content.ai podcast. Oh, I love the bobblehead. That is so cool.
Are you ready, Stu? I'm ready. What are we going to talk about today, Stu? Did you get the show notes?
I did.
Awesome.
I did. I like it. We're
So,
going to
what are
talk
we?
about books and why are you writing a book and who for?
Okay, that sounds good, Stu. What's your experience with writing books, Stu?
Well, I will tell you this. You got
Mhm.
to know who you're writing for because one day you may find out when you finish a book that unfit people don't buy fitness books.
Ooh, that sounds like a story, Stu. Can you
I
share
have a
that story
story.
with us? Well,
I
tell
have a
us.
story. Yeah. I
Okay.
thought I had the best idea for beginner fitness ever.
Uh-huh.
And it was to be accumulated throughout the day
Uh-huh.
in little 2.5 minute segments.
Uh-huh.
And there's some science behind that it actually works.
Okay.
And you basically do exercises during commercials.
What?
Yes, of your favorite TV shows.
What?
Yeah, you watch a football game, you'll have an hour's worth of commercials.
Yeah, but all the people with the TiVos were getting fat because they had the commercial skips. So like, yeah, I'll work
Yeah.
out when I have to watch commercials, but I don't
Now,
have to watch them.
as much as I stream, man, it's like I'm so annoyed with commercials now. But anyway, this was back in
The
or
90s,
late '90s. This was late '90s,
before the turn of the century.
way back before the turn of the century. Yeah, 1900s.
Okay.
All right. But
So in
anyway,
the
I
1900s. Oh my God, that sounds so old. I was born back in the 1960s. Oh
yeah.
my God.
So anyway, I learned, and it was a great book. I mean, I was on the View a couple of times promoting it. I mean, everybody liked it.
They let
People
you
thought
on
it
the
was a
View?
great idea. Yeah,
That
I
was
was all over the place
that was back in the day.
back in the day. Yeah, this is
Okay.
before the internets, and man, it was going so well
Uh-huh.
until it went up on the store and nobody bought it.
Yeah. So,
Unfit people don't buy fitness books.
it's funny. My buddy Yannick Silver, uh, he and I wrote a book called 33 Days to Online Profits. And he had this idea. He teamed up with a personal trainer, his personal trainer. Guy's super knowledgeable. All right, here you go. Ready? Get fit while you sit. That was the name of the program. And it was
Ooh.
how you could get fit while you were sitting in your chair at your computer or watching TV. And it was
Hmm.
all exercises you could do while sitting. Spent a bunch of money on it, did a whole big production thing on it, failed miserably.
Yeah,
Why, Stu?
unfit people don't buy fitness books
That's
or
right.
programs.
That's right.
If
They
it was a
don't.
pill, if it was a pill or a powder, people would buy it.
Dude, if it was a pill or
Yeah.
a powder,
I tell you,
I'd be mowing your lawn. You'd be so rich.
right? You know what? I will tell you this: when people
Yeah.
make fun of this guy for in the fitness business, but the guy who tapped into it probably the best
Uh huh.
is Richard Simmons.
Oh yeah.
He tapped into that beginner fitness world better than anybody, and I have to give him credit on that one.
Funny story about Richard Simmons. I went to one of those in Las Vegas. I went to one of those hypnosis shows, and I got called up on stage with like a dozen other people,
Mm.
and they hypnotized me, and then told me I was Richard Simmons. I, I'm not kidding. This is absolutely true. I'm just glad this was before the age of
Everybody had a
phones with
camera in their
crazy
hand.
video. Yeah. And I was running around a theater with about 500 people in it, pretending like I was Richard Simmons, acting just like Richard Simmons, trying to get people up to get up and do their jazzercise. And it was unique. So, anyway, you never know where we're going to go with these things, Stu.
Yeah.
But, I could just see me in a pair of silkies and a silk wife beater t shirt and
Hey,
just,
man,
doing
he
that
figured
thing.
I did not. So I salute
Sweating to the oldies, baby. Sweating to the oldies.
the great Richard Simmons.
Speaking of real time workout videos, Stu,
Yes.
is yours ready yet?
No.
Is your real time stretching video done?
You know what? It's coming.
I've been hearing that for 10 years.
It's coming. I got
Hey,
I got some new ideas.
okay. All right. Well, here's the thing. If you want to create a book that's amazing, you got to know who the audience is and you got to know the result they want, their why. Why would they buy the freaking book? And it's got to be a result that they really want. That's want. They want it now and they're willing to pay to get it. That's a key because they might really want it, but if they want it, they don't want it now and they're not willing to pay for it, don't do you any good. I created a book one time that I just knew we were going to get rich. I figured that's always the one. That's the clue
Yeah.
that like if your motivation for this is I got this idea and this is going to make us this is it. In fact, it's so much it that when you want to tell anybody about it, you start looking around to see who's listening first, You know what I'm saying? And then you talk in a lower voice, like even to your wife. Now,
Can't tell
can't
him.
tell anybody about this.
This is
So
big.
this is big. This is
It's
going
the
to
next
change
big thing.
everything. It's going to change everything. Oh my God. So I came up with this idea that I did a research, as you do, and saw that typing tutorials were hugely, hugely searched for. Okay.
Hmm.
This is back with the go-to keyword tool, huge amounts. And then I'm out there, I'm looking, I'm like, there's hardly any competition. There's only this. Do you remember Mavis Beacon teaches typing? The
Yes,
lady, is it
I do
Mavis
remember that.
Beacon typing tutorials. I can kick her butt. I'm going to come out with a typing tutorial and I'm going to do it in an ebook. And I figured out a way that people could type into the PDF file. So I gave them instructions and then you're like, A. I'm not even using the right finger to do A. That show you I shouldn't be teaching anybody how to type. But came up with this, yeah. A. Um, So anyway, spent all this time, laid out the thing, wrote the sales letter, did the whole thing. Man, I'm gonna, buy this track. I'm gonna crush it. $100, $200, $300. Nobody buys. Some people started buying, and I was able, believe it or not, I was actually able to successfully integrate that into the back end of my 7-day ebook people because I was like, hey, if you don't know how to type, you probably ought to learn if you're going to be an author. So I got a book here to teach you how to type. That's when we actually made some sales. And actually did okay with it. But it's like I neglected this one. People weren't really willing to pay to learn how to, it'd be nice to learn how to type when I get around to it, and I sure as hell ain't going to pay for it. So, I mean, we all learn these things, and the best way to learn is really to learn from other people's mistakes. So, you look at a successful book, though, when you nail the audience and when the result is right, you can change everybody's life if you do it right. Like, what's your most successful book, Stu? What's your most successful book that you've done? Bestseller. What's your bestseller ever, ever?
I'll have to look. It is most likely my first one because it still sells 22 years later.
Right. But you've
right?
updated it.
Yeah, I've updated it 3 times. The Complete Guide to Navy SEAL Fitness, but annually I have better ones now that are just, self published. So
Hmm.
it's been a fun journey. I have multiple ones that do well.
Right. But the ones that are doing well, your primary business is helping people pass PT tests. I mean, that's
Yes.
ultimately that is your primary business.
Yes. Yes.
So when you talk about reasons why people buy, for some people, you can link that PT test to making money.
Yes.
Okay. You can also link it to saving time. You can link it to prestige.
Yep.
You can link it to love. You love your country. You want to serve your country. I can show you how to do it. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
on page 16 of my most successful single, well, I'm not going
Yeah.
to say it's most successful single book because I think 7-Day ebook has actually sold more copies over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
But
Let's talk about this one.
page 16, the top 10 reasons why anybody buys anything: make money, save time, avoid effort, escape mental, physical pain, get more comfort, achieve cleanliness, or attain better health, gain praise, feel more loved, increase popularity or social status. What you do, Stu, with helping people to pass PT tests could be tied to every single one of those top 10 reasons why.
Easily.
But here's why people buy from you as opposed to some chucklehead who says, oh, there's people want to pass PT tests. I can hire somebody on Fiverr. No, no, no. I mean, people rip you off. I see people trying to copy what you're doing
Oh yeah, me too.
all the
It's all over
time.
the place. That's all right.
But ultimately, what separates you and separates me and separates everyone else from everyone else? What is the one thing that makes you different?
I can think of a dozen things, but
Well, start rattling them off. What makes you different?
I am authentic. I
Okay.
care.
Uh-huh.
I do everything that I write about every
Okay.
day.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm a coach
Uh-huh.
that writes about fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think those are the biggest ones.
Yeah. But you know what? Those are all a part of your story of who you are.
Yes, it is.
This
Yeah.
your story, your backstory, as well as your current story, like your origin story versus just the stories that you're writing of your life every single day, justify the origin story justifies it, and the continuous stories that you're writing every single day in your life support that you should still be doing it.
Yes.
It's one thing to do something once, it's another thing to live it. But your story is ultimately what separates you from everybody else. Your story, and let me warn you about something. Not you, Stu, but I'm warning you too, Stu.
Okay.
As AI becomes more prevalent, one of the few things that will make you different than everybody else is your story.
Hmm.
And
Very
your
good point.
ability to tell your story, to share your stories, to share your experiences and relate them in a way that is uniquely personal to you and it can't be duplicated. Anybody, so any of the stuff that used to be stock and trade for the last 20 years, sit down, write an article about top 10 mistakes somebody makes with combat swimmer stroke, top 10 mistakes people make selling their house without an agent, 5 things everyone should know about how to sell their house themselves, 3 ways to increase, improve, and fix your pull-ups. All of that is no longer intellectual property.
Right.
It's data.
Yeah.
All of that information is data. And I'm on a roll now, Stu. This isn't
No, I
exactly
like
what we're
this.
going to talk about, but info equals data. That's the realm of AI. Okay. Knowledge equals data plus experience.
Story.
Okay. Experience can be a story or it can be an example. An example is basically just a story.
Yeah. Well, it's
Okay.
experience is part of your story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So ultimately, the only thing that separates us now from AI is our ability to tell stories, our
Mm.
ability to relate to other people with our stories as it relates to the data. I want you all to think about that for a minute. And in the comments, tell me, am I right or wrong? Tell me, in the end, anything that you do, anything that you teach, anything that you convey that is information based, how to do something, the steps to do something, the all that stuff. Sorry, we have finally gotten to the point where there is nothing new under the sun. The only thing that separates you from the giant AI computer in the sky is your ability to tell a story.
Yeah.
And also to be the bridge between your audience and the result that they want. That bridge is you. Now, there's other stuff and whatnot, but I mean, just for the sake of the conversation we're having here right now, your story and who you are, your experiences is the only thing that separates you from AI forever. So, better get real good at telling your story,
And
at
what's the best way to
recognizing.
tell your story?
Well, there's a couple different ways, Stu. No, that's not how you tell your story. We're way beyond that. That's how you sell your story.
Okay.
Copywriting secrets help you sell your story. Nah, there's a couple different ways. There's two different main types of stories that we need to be able to tell. We need to be able to tell origin story, okay? And we also need to be able to tell what I call a 6 C's story,
Mm.
okay? An origin story is the origin of something. Usually it's used to convey somebody's it's really at its core, an origin story is a why story. It's why you do what you do. And you can have multiple origin stories. I have an origin story for fitness. I have an origin story for how I met my wife. I have an origin story for why I do what I do in business. We have multiple origin stories. By the way, your origin story becomes part of your brand. And if you use your origin story the right way, other people will tell your origin story for you
Yeah.
to other people. If it's good enough, people will share it.
Yeah.
A lot of people to and but it better be real and it better be true, because for the rest of your life with people paying attention to you, they're going to pay attention to whether this changes at all. They're going to see if you embellish it or if you change it. Okay.
Yeah. Good point.
A 6 C's story is how you tell a story of like something that just happened. So, for example, and you know what, Stu? There's a genie for that.
I know because Whenever you first introduced me to the 6 C's, I wrote these down and I have this like right in front of my screen. Every time I'm writing, I look at these 6 C's. So I am excited about the Genie demo.
We have a Genie for both of these.
Nice.
But the origin story would be the story of like how I came to, the big one that I tell is the story of my first funnel, like the big discovery I made converting my 40-page website to a one-page sales letter and sales going up 250% literally overnight. So a 60s story, a good example of that would be the one that got published actually today in our newsletter, where it's a story of how I got recognized because of my book, this book, on a cruise ship, not once, but 2 different cruises, 3 different times. And it freaked me out because I had people, it's one thing to be at a seminar or an event or a convention or something. And, the people there, your people are there. It's like, hey, I got your book. But to be out in public on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean and someone says, hey, are you Jim Edwards? And I'm like, do I owe this cat money? I'm looking at his hands like he got a weapon or something, he got a beer bottle. Anyway, there's a different way of telling those kinds of stories. Origin story is the one that most people talk about, that when they're teaching story, they teach hero's journey. But that's only good for, not every story you tell can be a hero's journey. That just turns you into a drama queen. So you got to be able to tell a story, and it's real important that you're able to tell both types of stories, especially when it comes to a book. So, for example, one of the things I'll be teaching in the next Write Your Book challenge, writeyourbook.ai challenge, is that we're actually going to start the book with your origin story. And then each chapter is going to have a story in it as well. So that's why we've got tools and stuff. So
Nice.
shall we do a demo,
I'd
Stu? Would you
love to
like to
see it.
see the demo of
Yeah,
the?
I have not seen this. I haven't used it yet. Is it available yet?
It is not.
Okay. Maybe that's why. So we're getting
It
a
is
sneak
not
peek.
available. Yeah, it's sneak peek, and then everybody, when can we get it? Well, you ain't seen it work yet. All right, so I got it nice and zoomed in here so as you can see it. And basically, what this does is it walks you through the process of using the Genie, the 6 C's. And would you like to write a story real quick, Stu? Or would you like to just see one that I did before? It's up to you. We could write one
Um,
probably in about five or 10 minutes. It'd be kind of fun.
hey,
Let's ask.
whatever you feel like you want to do. It's up
Let's.
to you how you want to drive this show, Jim. It's your show.
Oh, it's not my show. It's the team show. In fact, I need to ask Nancy because Nancy's going to be. What's up, Nance?
Hey.
Um, So we're going to be doing this demo. Do you want us to just do it with an existing one, or do you want me to do one from scratch? Just
Do
how
one
would you
from
prefer
scratch,
it?
please.
Do one from scratch? All right.
Yes.
We let all the whole families involved in this. All right, Stu, we're going to tell your story. We're going to tell a story. What's a story that you want to tell that you would include in your that you could include in your newsletter?
Um, let's tell the story about me at 45, broken, thinking I wasn't going to run in again. My hips were hurting.
Okay. Jeezy Pete, dude, you start writing the damn story. I got to get hey, slow down. Okay. So, first C is characters. Who are the main characters? Me, Stu Smith.
And my hips, because my hips don't lie.
Me, Stu Smith, at age 45. Was that before? Had I met you by then? Yeah, we'd met. We've been hanging out for like
I
12
think
years.
you were with me when I created that mobility day.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah, I remember Mobility Day. Okay.
Yeah.
So context. I've been okay. You tell me. So the when, what, how? What's the background? You were starting to give me the background information. So give me the
Yeah,
background.
I was in a running cycle and I just couldn't run anymore. And I was 45, actually thinking that I would probably this is my last year running, right? Because I hurt so bad. Like my hips were just so tight. I could still do squats and lunges, but it's just painful to run.
Okay. Um, conflict. All right. Here's what happened. I could still do squats,
Swim,
squats.
bike, could do all of that. No pain, but if I ran, it hurt right in my hips. It felt like my hips were bleeding, Jim. Every time I ran. That didn't feel good. Now I know they weren't, but it just felt like it.
Okay. It was agony.
Yeah.
All right. So how did everything come to a head? What was the climax?
Well, we're about to go on a big run. I warmed up like I normally do, and I was like, you know what? You guys run without me. I'm going inside. I'm riding the bike. And I got bored riding the bike in about 5 minutes. So I decided to stretch.
Okay, hang on. Jesus, I told you my typing tutorial sucked. I can't. I'm trying to get this done. I told all the spec ops candidates.
Yep. Go run without me. I'll see you afterwards in the
Run
pool.
without me. I'll see you in the pool. Okay, I went in and hopped on the bike and was immediately bored out of my mind.
In 5 minutes.
I'm like that on the treadmill. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what happened? What happened?
So I got off the bike and I stretched for 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, hey, that felt pretty good. Let me get back on the bike. So I got on the bike again for 5 minutes.
Then I
Then I
stretched
stretched
again.
again for 5 minutes. And I just got in my head that I'm going to do this for the whole hour that everybody else is running. So it was 5 minutes of biking, 5 minutes of stretching
Okay,
for an
hang on.
hour.
Hang on. I had a eureka moment.
It was basically a spin class and a yoga class had a baby.
Oh, I love that. Okay. It was like a spin class and a yoga class had a baby. A dumpster baby? Or was this a love child baby?
This is
Okay,
definitely
so
love.
I had I had a eureka moment. All right, your closure. Okay, I had a eureka. Now, this is going to be closure, how this kind of resolved, and then conclusions is where we're going to give the morals. So, okay, what's your eureka moment? What was the closure of this?
I walked out of the gym actually feeling no pain.
For the first time in months.
Yes.
Okay. I remember this is when you invented
Mobility
Mobility
day.
Day. Yeah.
Yeah. And I gave it a name. I said, I'm going to call this Mobility Day. And I just started doing it myself on just once or twice a week. And then all the young guys started joining me because
I
they
think
saw
I
it.
was part of your guinea pig on
Oh, yeah.
this.
You
I
were?
told I called it Mobility Day and shared it with my friend Jim. No, I remember that because you
Yeah.
were like, "Oh," and all I could think was, "Oh, thank God, he's not going to beat on me 6 days a week." Because I was like, by Wednesday, I was like, "Oh my God, dude, for real." And then anyway,
Yeah. So the middle of the week, it
and he
it, it
loved
has
it.
been life changing.
Okay, so now conclusions. What did you and others learn from this? We applied this to at least one day a week. Young guys and older guys all benefited. What else? Anything about mobility and uh, actually
Um,
better performance and all that other
yeah,
stuff?
everybody was fewer injuries, better um, ability in the pool for treading water and streamlining body positions. And after a month, I honestly felt it had been life changing because I was running again without pain.
Okay. So we're gonna dial in the story. What kind of story you want to sell? Cautionary, funny, heartfelt, inspirational. Let's do inspirational. That
Okay.
sounds inspirational. We'll do first person because it's your story. Our avatar, we could load the avatar, but are you going to do the over 40
Sure.
athletes over 40?
Yep.
Okay. And what's the big result they want right now that you want to incorporate into the story? So this is how we're combining it with the avatar. So right now, my ideal customer really wants to just,
Move better with less pain.
okay, cool. So I'm going to save this because I know you're going to want it.
Yeah.
Stu story. All right, so build. Now we can look at this. The story you would have created yourself if you had the time, only faster. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to write this story two ways. One, we're going to write it without the avatar integrated into it, and then we're going to write it with the avatar ingredient in with the avatar. I can't talk. Um, okay, at the age of 45, I found myself facing a daunting challenge. I was an avid runner, but the pain in my hips had become so excruciating that I thought my running days were numbered. It was a heartbreaking realization as running had always been a source of joy and freedom for me. I tried to find alternative ways to stay active, turning to squats, biking, and swimming to keep myself in shape, but nothing could quite replace the exhilaration of a good long run. As much as I tried to push through the pain, every step felt like my hips were on fire. One day, as I prepared for a big run with my Spec Ops candidates, I faced the harsh reality that I couldn't keep up. I warmed up as usual, but as the others started their run, I knew I had to sit this one out. Feeling defeated, I went to the gym and hopped on the bike, hoping to find some solace in a different form of exercise, but within minutes, I found myself bored and restless. Frustrated and desperate for relief, I decided to spend some time stretching instead. What started as a simple attempt to ease my discomfort turned into something unexpected. I cycled and stretched interchangeably, creating a unique combination of spin and yoga that seemed to alleviate my pain. It was like a revelation, a moment of clarity amidst the agony I'd been enduring for months. I dubbed it Mobility Day and shared the concept with my friend Jim. To my surprise, he loved it. We made it part of our routine, incorporating it into at least one day of every week, and the results were astonishing. Not only did I begin to experience a significant decrease in pain, but my overall performance improved in every aspect of my fitness. Young and old alike, everyone who tried Mobility Day felt the positive impact. Injuries became fewer, and our abilities and activities like treading water and maintaining proper body position were greatly enhanced. After just a month of incorporating Mobility Day into my routine, I found myself experiencing a life-changing transformation. I was running again, and this time without any pain. It was a triumph of the human will, a testament to the power of resilience and possibilities of change. That might be a little much. I'd overcome a seemingly insurmountable obstacle and emerged stronger, healthier, and more determined than ever before. That's a pretty good, I mean, you tell me.
No, I love it. I love it, Jim. That's impressive.
Now, it'll also make some hooks for you too. And some of these will be like clickbaity, and others will be based on the thing. Uh, how I beat debilitating hip pain and got back to running. That's a good hook, dude.
I like that.
The revolutionary fitness routine that saved my running career. Ooh, look at you getting back to your running glory. The secret fitness hack that transformed my body and mind. That's a good one too, man. Um, how I defied the odds and beat chronic hip pain with this one simple trick. That's pretty good. Okay, so I won't make you read this whole thing, but the second one, but look at this. And sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom to discover a new way forward. I had to get a hold of my own. I found a renewed sense of hope and strength. Reminder, no matter what else, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So this one didn't incorporate that much into the, but I think you could still use it anywhere.
Nah, that's really good.
Yeah, but I mean, you could go if you have something, if it doesn't read exactly right, you just go up and change some of the details and stuff. I mean, I didn't even spell everything right. But
Hmm.
that bottom line, that created a pretty dang good first round story. You guys in
Yeah.
the comments tell us, but as far as I'm concerned, now let me ask you this. How long would it have taken you to write that story, to conceive of and write that story, and to come up with a 400 or 500 word story?
I mean, it would have definitely been, a good half hour to an hour, getting that done.
Right. How long do you
You
think
know.
it would take you to edit that, make it,
Oh,
put your soul into it,
yeah.
10,
And
10 minutes?
another, you know, half an hour.
Okay.
I mean, put it this way: just by the questions alone helped me kind of formulate this thing in my head,
Right.
right? And I probably could have typed it out and done it, but that is going to be so much easier to just edit and probably be done with that in about 10 minutes versus an hour and be ready to post it.
Did it sound like your story?
Yes.
Okay. So it sounded like you telling the story. Maybe it's a couple language choices, maybe,
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I write differently than I speak. Most of the times I write like I speak, but every
right.
now and then I like to use big words.
You paid for them, right? So anyway, I'm real excited about that, and I think that Genie's going to help a whole lot of people, no matter
I love it. Hey, I see a
what you're using it
question in
for.
here that says, "When will the genies be available?" The thing is like genies are already available. This one is just one of them that is
Yeah,
going to be available soon.
yeah, I'm playing with it. I'm still tweaking it a little bit.
Yeah. The beauty
Oh,
about joining this program is that you get access to so many genies and you get new ones as they pop up.
absolutely. So we'll won't be too long. So anyway, Stu, that was the big demo. Hopefully Nancy was happy with that. She'll let me know. But I think I love that thing. Oh, and by the way, you can output it as a docx file and all that good stuff. So you can download it in Word, download your hooks, and do all that. Uh, quite frankly, I used that Genie to write the article that went out in my newsletter today. And I did exactly, I did the thing, I did it. I'd say I took 20 minutes to edit it, 20, 30 minutes to just really edit the crap out of it and make it amazing. Because again, AI does not stand for automatic implementation. It stands for artificial intelligence. You got to use it as a tool, but it's going to save you a bunch of time and help you to do amazing stuff. Anyway, what else we got, Stu? What else you want to talk about for a few minutes?
Well, we kind of bounced around from your show notes
Did I?
quite a
Well,
bit.
well, hit me with some rapid fire stuff, and we'll come up with some goodies, some
All right,
nuggets.
I
Let's
like
make
this one.
some
I
nuggets.
like this one. This is a
Okay.
really good one. So you're integrating your book into your life and business,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some discussion points. All right. So
Okay.
strategies for aligning book writing with business goals and personal values.
Okay. So you know what? I'm just going to take the whole screen, Stu. And what I would tell you is that one of the keys with your book is to look at it from the standpoint of whatever it is I'm selling, however I'm serving the people, how is this book going to help me sell more? How is this going to increase desire? How is this going to increase the need? How is this going to give me authority so that the people I've chosen to serve are going to see this book, and it's automatically going to lead them to want to buy my other stuff, whether it's my coaching, whether it's my course, whether it's to hire me to speak, whatever that is. That is the number one question you need to ask is How is that going to help me do more of this? And if you do that, you're going to have some really great results.
Nice. How about balancing book writing with entrepreneurial responsibilities?
Like, how do you have find the time to write the book?
Yes.
Okay, that's a great question, and I shall answer it. So, you're super busy. How are you going to have the time to be able to write a book? And it's basically understanding that you're not writing it the old way, which is to sit down and slave away at the keyboard. We are going to schedule our time and we're going to leverage technology and strategy. Most people waste a whole lot of time trying to write a book because they have no idea what they're going to write about, why they're going to write it, don't have a framework, and then just sit down and start trying to type. But allocate time, use technology, use AI tools, and have a definitive strategy and framework that you're using. And all of a sudden, you can have a book done in a couple, 3 weeks that's actually a really good book. Now, if you think you're just going to go over to ChatGPT, give it a couple of janky ass prompts that you bought off of some idiot on Facebook that sold you 2,000 prompts for 27 bucks, it ain't going to happen. So it's a combination of you, your brain, time, technology, strategy, and tools to actually get it done.
Nice.
Is janky ass a real word or is that like a hyphen? Just
I don't know,
curious.
but I like it
Nancy might not.
as you described the
Buying
prompts.
2,000 prompts off some chucklehead on Facebook who stole them from someone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. How about we summarize this puppy, Jim?
Summarize what, Stu? Give me a context.
Yeah, let's summarize this. So let's just recap the importance of knowing your audience and understanding your why before writing a book.
Okay. So a
Well,
lot of people,
yeah,
okay, that's good.
yeah.
So audience and why. Let me get that up here. So I'm trying to make this amazing. Okay. So if you're thinking about writing a book, great. A book is a great way to establish authority. It's a great way to establish yourself as an expert. However, it can also be a giant time suck. My first book took me 4 years to write. Why? Because I had no clue what the heck I was doing. So first thing you got to do is make sure you know exactly who you're creating your book for. Got to know exactly who your target audience is. You can't just yank this thing out of nowhere and expect everyone's going to buy it. Second, you got to know why you're writing it. How does it fit within your business? How does it fit within the big picture of you and how you're operating in the world? Second why, though, the first why is your why. The second why is their why. Why would they buy this book? And it's usually based on a specific result. They buy a book because it's going to help them get a very specific result that they want. They want it now, and they're willing to pay for it. Once you know that, then you create the book. And the book leads them to the next step in your business. A book does not stand alone. A book is a chute, it's a slide, it's a conveyor belt that leads them to the next step that's in your business, whether it's coaching, whether it's a course, whether it's a membership site. It leads somewhere. It is not the end, it is the beginning of their relationship with you. If you understand all that, a book can be the cornerstone or a cornerstone of a very successful business for you. There you go. And if you'd really like to be able to get a book done super fast, you need to go check out writeyourbook.ai. This is the culmination of my 20 some odd years of helping tens of thousands, countless of numbers of people all over the world to self-publish ebooks and books. This is where we've taken all that knowledge, all those frameworks, applied AI to it along with my copywriting software, and just created the ultimate fusion of technology, strategy, and knowledge to help you get a book that's your book done faster than by any other means possible. How was that for a summary there, Big Stu?
That was perfect. That was
Okay.
perfect. Hey, we do have enough time to take a few questions. I think these are really good questions that
Okay.
you can help answer.
Okay.
Um, with the upcoming book writing challenge, will it be focused on an authority book?
All books help you to establish authority. The next book that we're going to be doing is internally we're calling it a treasure map book, but it's basically it's a book based around step by step how to get a specific result.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's the one. That's the framework that we're using this time around.
All right. So, to clarify the last question, is there different types of books of which authority book is one of them?
So the last one that we did is we called it your authority book because it was basically a collection of knowledge that proved you knew what you were talking about. That's one thing. So it's like all the stuff I know about X, okay, as opposed to a mistakes book where you write a book that tells people all the things they shouldn't do. And these are the main mistakes that people do. This third one that we're doing is going to be step by step how to get a very specific result. You choose the result, okay? And actually, you don't choose the result, your audience chooses the result, and
Yeah.
then you help them to get the result. All three of those types of books will help you to establish authority as an expert in your niche market on a specific topic. So,
Nice. How about this? Since we're doing the ebook first,
mhm.
and this is more of a process question, how do we know or figure out how the book will support and enhance what we will sell when we haven't figured that out yet? Any words of wisdom or approaches to consider while exploring those things? And I think he's meaning kind of the difference between an ebook and a book.
No,
Um,
I'm the only difference between an ebook and a book is one is read on a screen and the other's read on dead trees. That's the
Right.
only difference between an ebook and a book. It's
Yeah.
packaging. Okay.
And Amazon does it all for you.
Exactly.
It's really easy.
Or Lulu, or
Yeah.
there's a bunch of different depending on what you're doing. That's not that's details you ain't got to worry about. Get your book done first.
Yeah.
Okay. So next thing is what this is basic value ladder. Okay. So basic value ladder, you got a book. Typically, the next thing you're going to do is some kind of a course. Or you could have book. If you really want to just break this down, you could have book, audio book, course, coaching. I mean, this is, and in between there can be live events or any of that good
Speaking.
stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking, all that stuff. But that's a speaking may be a vehicle for getting people into this. But it's like I sell the book, I bump with an audio book, I offer a course on the back end as an OTO, and then the second OTO could be one-on-one coaching or group coaching. I mean, that's all of this stuff you don't even have to create until after the book is done. And a course, how long does it take to create a 90-minute course, Stu?
Well, after you have a book, 90 minutes.
There you go. So that's the thing. People get all hung up. It's like, yeah, I want to create if you wanted to do a 2-part masterclass, each part of the masterclass was an hour long. How long does it take you to create that, Stu?
2 hours.
2 hours. That's right. Especially if you have AI tools to help you plan it out, like we do inside of copyingcontent.ai with the presentation creator. You know.
What one thing I've seen not only myself but with other people who finished their book in the
Uh huh.
last program you did
Uh huh.
is that when they were writing the book, several comments came back as like, I can now see my course. I
Yeah.
can now see my training program, coaching program. It just became clearer to them because they finished that book first.
Yep. And here's the dirty little secret. It's all the same info. It's the info in your book is the audio book, and the course probably is less info than you have in the book. This is the 20% that gets 80% of the results is your whole course. Coaching is probably 90-10. It's the 10% that they just want to know to get the result and skip the fluff. One of my mentors, Jay Conrad Levinson, we were sharing the stage one time in Las Vegas, and then afterwards we had the speaker dinner. He and I are sitting next to each other in the limo. It was cool. It was like a dream come true. And we were just talking about books and courses and all this other stuff. And he had this really wonderful accent, and he's I won't imitate it, but he basically says, I have a friend that has a best-selling diet book, and the gist of the book is that you need to eat 2 tablespoons of fiber and walk 30 minutes a day if you want to lose weight. He said the rest is 200 pages of filler. So
Damn.
I'm not saying your book's going to be 200 pages of filler, but what I'm saying is as you boil it down, the people just want to get the result. It's the same info. It's the same result. It's just how fast do they get it and how much access do they get to you? You know, I was having a conversation tomorrow or yesterday with a guy. I was having a conversation tomorrow. Now that would put you into a Doctor Strange loop. I had a conversation yesterday with a guy who's real smart, building a coaching business, getting ready to come out with this book. And I was laying out for him how a book builds a coaching business and all the different layers and stuff. I don't know if y'all would be interested in that, but I was thinking about actually teaching a class on how you turn a book into a multi-level coaching program and what that looks like. Let me know in the comments if that's something y'all would be interested in. I have a question for you, Stu.
Yes.
I write books, as do you.
Uh-huh.
I have an audiobook. I don't think you have an audiobook. I teach classes all the time and charge people for them. I put a lot of stuff on YouTube, but I've noticed, and maybe I'm wrong, but when I look at YouTube, when I look at StuSmithFitness.com and I'm looking to spend money, I basically only have a choice between buying a book or getting coaching at a couple different levels. I
Huh.
can do the group coaching, I can do the I can do the one-on-one, or I can do the platinum like diamond level. Stu gets me out of bed, kicks me in the rump level.
Yes.
But you don't have, though you teach all the time on YouTube doing FAQs and other stuff like that. I have never seen you do a course. Do you
Huh.
have a course where you have stood up and taught something and then sell it?
I have done that. I just have not recorded it and sold it.
I
If
think
that makes sense.
it makes
Yeah.
perfect sense because I knew the answer already.
Yeah.
Um, I think you're missing out on some revenue opportunity here.
All right.
And I'm just throwing that out there that you got the book on FBI, da 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 da. But if you taught a 2-hour class or even an hour-long class and then position that as an upsell to your most, like if you just taught a class as an upsell for your most popular books
Yes. Good point.
and you sold it as a true one-time offer or an order bump, I bet we could throw you into another tax bracket again. Just
Very
saying.
possible. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good point.
Plus, if they see you and they hear you and they learn from you, I bet you a percentage of those would matriculate into the coaching.
True. Good
So
point.
I'm just throwing that out there.
No, that's a great idea. I got some to dos this year that that may have to be one of them.
Because you're a great teacher
Well,
and
thank you.
you're teaching all the time.
Yeah.
But all the teaching that I see from you is free on YouTube.
Right.
So just let that percolate. I'll ask you again in 6 months. Maybe you'll
Okay.
make one of those classes after you come out with that real-time workout stretching video.
There you go.
All right. Well, that's all I got. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And that's all we got. So if you are interested in writing a book, if you're interested in using a book to help build your business, it's not too late as of right now. It is not too late to sign up for the next writeyurbook.ai challenge. It's not too late to join us. The beautiful thing about that process is we have now helped hundreds of people to not only write but publish their books on Amazon. Many of them have become bestsellers while letting AI do the heavy lifting, but still having a book that you can take ownership of. And it's not a 12-week process, a 10-week, an 8-week, a 6, a 7, a 5, or even a 4. You're going to get this done in less than 3 weeks.
Nice.
So this is absolutely going to change your life if you will let it. You can head over to writeyurbook.ai and it will give you all the details. Jason just put up here, I know people who have gone through your book writing course and have crushed it. And that's a good thing.
Hmm.
So great job, Stu. Appreciate
Yeah.
you. Thank you, ladies, working behind the scenes. And thanks for joining us. And we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye, everybody.